how many years did you give the Department of Corrections?
27 months.
27 months.
That's like 2 years and 3 months.
Okay, absolutely.
Yep.
And so, give us a brief description about what your journey was like inside up until you came in contact with the power of people.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. When I went to prison, I went for a first degree burglary charge.
Mm-hmm.
Straight up off the chain with drugs, man. I mean, everything, thoughts, actions in life went off of crack. So all my decision making, what I was gonna do that day, all of that went off of dope.
Mm-hmm.
To the point where I went and, committed a burglary.
Mm-hmm.
And the first degree is when somebody's home.
Okay.
That was my low. I realize now that was because I didn't do crimes to get dope. I just wanted to get high and party.
Mm.
But when I went to that point, no sooner than I went and committed, that was my first felony, bam, went straight to prison.
Mm.
That was my only felony I got to this day.
Okay.
And in prison, I realized this is what I get. Mm-hmm. But also in the back of the police car, I knew I wasn't never going to get high again. I was high as a kite. I was like, oh, it's just like the lights. This is it. I knew I was going to prison. Never been to prison before. Never, I knew I was going.
Wow.
A lot of thoughts came, but in prison, I did a lot of programming. Mm. So I did the IFI program, Christian-based program in Lionel Lake. Mm-hmm. Okay, so I did that. I did classes, C-Tech, I did whatever. I just kept busy, computer classes. Besides the C-Tech, then I did the computer classes. So I was always in some programming.
Okay.
One of the brothers who I used to study with, we would doing our IFI and, reading the Bible and learning all about that stuff. He said, you know what would be good for you? Pop. I was like, Pop? He goes, yeah, man, you don't know Pop? No.
Yeah.
He goes, man, that's some real stuff there. That'd be good for you. John, I can't think of his name. But he said, that'd be good for you. I said, okay, so I signed up for it.
Wow.
And this was at the end of my time because I did I graduated IFI, did all that stuff. So I can say I met Pop in 2011 because he was the last programming I took.
Okay.
Prior to leaving prison. And that was right on point. It tied everything together. Mm. It tied the religious piece together. Mm. It tied it confirmed my own stuff and how I was supposed to be acting and what I'm supposed to do.
Yeah.
And the biggest part about Pop is in his class, when you leave prison, you got somewhere to go. So he follow up. Now you guys know I'm in programming type with the Fed side. Mm-hmm. And I've done it with churches too, doing welcome homes and all this. And what I realize is nobody sticks and stays. These guys get out, they graduate, and they say bye to them, and they never see him again.
Never again.
This is what I like about Pop. That was the piece about Pop.
And that's so true. And you kind of already answered this question, but I'm gonna ask it to you anyway. What was the dynamic inside that kind of attracted you to the power of people?
Yeah. John Smith. He's a Pop guy, John Smith.
Yeah.
He told me about it. Mm. And I was already a programmer type guy. I was always doing something. I wasn't just going to sit around and play cards and dominoes, and I was not play chess, gamble. I was not that dude. I was like, man, I got to be doing something in here.
Right.
But like I said, Pop tied everything together for me. Because I was getting the religious piece, the spiritual piece. I was getting that. I was in the word. My mom, I was always a churchgoer anyway. I just was rebellious, so IFI brought stuff together and said, okay, you got this. And I used to think, there's more to this. Mm. That's Pop tied all of it together for me, though.
Wow. And so, after, and just like you said, you took other programming, but after you completed the program, you could have chose to just go on about your business.
Mhm.
What made you stay and become and remain a part of the power of people?
For one thing, it was a black run thing. I saw my people throwing out positive and love and trying to bring brothers up. That's huge for me. That was huge. I was like, these boys is for real. Because Pop will tell you, I was just looking at him like, okay, what's the
What's the
catch? Skinny? Yeah. What's the deal? Yeah. Well, let's kind of wait for it. And what it was, I just kept getting more and more knowledge. I was like, yeah, he's right, yeah. And it hit me, but what really made me stay, what it tied me to Pop to this very day, was Pop said, people who keep coming to power of people don't go back to prison. And when I was in prison, I was saying, I ain't coming back here. I didn't belong there. I did belong there. But I wasn't raised in such a way that was where my life was going. I was raised, I had a single family, my mom and them, but it wasn't no dope and guns, and it wasn't all hustling in the way I was raised. That's not what it was. I wouldn't find all that crap myself. Obviously was no good at it.
Exactly.
Y'all said you won't go back. People who continue to come to Pop don't go back to prison. Stuck in my head. I was like, oh, that's where I'm supposed to be.
And truth be told, you haven't been back.
Have not.
And that's a blessing, man.
Yeah.
So, if and this was a difficult question for me because it's such a infinite answer to come with it, but can you think of any ways that PLP has been able to support you, whether on this side of the fence or on the other side of the fence?
Yeah. On the other side of the fence, when I was in, you mean, the knowledge that he was teaching us was, like I said, I needed that. I needed to really look at myself. Like I said, it tied that other piece together is like, that's where I get grimy. I use grimy. That's why I say I'm willing to talk about my grimy.
Yeah.
He made me, that's when I really started digging a little more. Because, he made me think. It helped me think. On this side, I believe this. Because I've seen it happen with my own eyes. It's just a blessing. I didn't need any assistance financially, or I didn't need any housing or nothing or anything like that. But I know, because I seen it, that Pop would have been there for me. I seen it with my own eyes, and I'm really one of them dudes that look at you real hard. You know what I'm talking about?
Absolutely.
I'd be looking at you like, but I've seen him and what his mission is and what he's really trying to do for brothers on this side.
Absolutely.
And with that being said, that's what I do. I'm really reflecting Pop. I'm not doing nothing new. I'm doing what I've been taught.
And I'm
passing it down.
And that was one of my questions I was going to ask you next, because I know that, you have your own programming that you run and you mentor, and, you're very impactful in your community. So what role did Pop play in, kind of like what you're doing
on the path that I'm on? Pop started it. I mentor. Okay. I'm a mentor with the Federal Reentry Program.
Wow.
Judges, U.S. attorneys.
Wow.
Federal public defenders.
Wow.
POs, judges.
Wow.
Right? We sit like this. Everybody.
Yeah.
And we talk about the clients that they get. Right? That kind of started with Shane. And I reflected a minute. I was like, this Shane really got, because Shane told me one day, sitting in here, this very room we're sitting in, I believe it was this room, one of our brothers was struggling. I don't want to say his name. I'd love to, because he's doing so well right now. He was struggling. And Pop said, Eric, I want you to mentor this brother. He told this brother, I want you to shadow Eric, because Eric seems to he's solid in his in this walk. I'm going to church. I still do the same thing.
Right.
Go to church, go to work, do the mentoring. That's my other stuff. That mentoring, that's that other thing. Pop had, he pretty much started it. And from that moment, from that piece there, because he had me do that before I started doing the Fed stuff. And then I just got caught up, got opportunities on that side with other connections and people that I deal with other resources. Wow. And I just shot in there like I knew what I was doing. You know what I mean?
It was destined for you.
Yeah. But he was a part of a lot of stuff. A lot of things. And what I know a lot in this part that he plays is that the stuff that he teaches, it's like I already know it. I know that kind of, a lot of that, because I lived it. You know what I'm saying? So he's talking some real life stuff, and I sometimes I just go, ooh, because it's like
body punch.
He just, and then some of the newer stuff, let me tell you this. I was sitting in this group. I was tying up a lot of edges, loose ends in my life, stuff from my past.
Yes, sir.
Because I'm a firm believer that if you didn't take care of your business, then you got to go back to the beginning and you got to go take care of that. Right. And one of this particular situation happened. I'll never forget it. I had my dad died in like 97.
Sorry to hear that.
And I had his ashes. He left me some change and everything. I was sprung. I was done. Right. But he got cremated and I had his ashes in a box.
Okay.
For all them years. And I went to prison in 2009. Okay. Right. So that's almost 12 years. Ashes in them. Then I went to prison 2 years. Ashes is still. And then I was sitting in here. It had to have been 3 or 4 maybe years ago. And he was talking about something and teaching us something. And he said, he was talking about, taking care of stuff or something. And it hit me. I was like, I told him I still got my dad's ashes in the closet from like 97. Wow. And I came a long way since prison. This is way after prison. I was out of prison 5 years maybe.
Okay.
And he goes, yeah. And he goes, was your dad a vet? And I was like, yeah, he was. He says, do you know that you could call the VA or Fort Snelling and they'll set it up and give him a plot and everything? I said, oh, yeah? He goes, yeah. He said, and class is on Tuesday, right? He said, yeah, you should call them. I called them on Wednesday. Dude, on Thursday, I had everything set up.
Wow.
I went and bought him an urn. I put his ashes in it. We had this big ceremony to shoot the gun. I'm sitting there in a suit. They folded the flag and gave it to me. Brother Shane was there. A bunch of the brothers was there. A bunch of my partners was there.
Wow.
Some cousins. And dude, I just sat there. And I was like, finally.
Wow.
It was closure. Another closure.
Wow.
Yes, man.
Wow.
Yes. Shane was there.
Absolutely.
I jumped right on. Boom, boom, boom. I jumped right on that. I was like, oh, yeah? Everything fell into place, man.
Wow.
Right here, talking about my stuff. Not scared to talk about my grimy. Because what was grimy about that is I got my dad's ashes in a box, in a closet.
Right.
There was no, no
rhyme or reason to it. But that's so powerful, man. And I appreciate you for sharing that.
If I wouldn't have been sitting here like I do, listening and willing to talk about my stuff, to stuff you never talk about. Who did, that's almost embarrassing. No, man. If I wouldn't have said nothing, I wouldn't have never known. I would have, ashes in a box for like 15 years. Wow. That closure, it was heavy, man. It was deep.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, yeah. Pop.
That's
pop, man.
Wow.
Being able to come around a room full of men. Men don't like talking about their stuff. I don't know about TV land.
Right.
But men Do not like talking about the stuff that they did wrong or went wrong at, or was grimy, the nasty stuff. I did some grimy stuff. If you can talk about that, then you know you free.
Right.
Then you know you free.
Which leads me to my next question, man. What was it like, whether inside or out, at the point where you knew you were free? Like, where were you? Like, what was that like? And where were you when you realized I'm free?
It came in phases. The first phase was in the back of the police car when I got arrested. I was in handcuffs and I knew my life was going to change. I didn't even get downtown yet. Police car ain't pulled off yet. I was guilty as all get out. Wrong. You know what I'm saying? Wrong.
Right.
And I knew my life was going to change. And I just kept that. That was my thought. I'm like, I'm going to go to prison. I'm going to do whatever they want me to do. I'm going to say I did whatever to do what I'm going to do, because this is what I get, and my life is going to change. The program, I was just doing stuff, willing to learn stuff, reading. My spirituality was huge because I needed to get that intact. That was everything. That was everything. That was a lot. That was this is what it's all about. And that's what you've been running from and fighting. And then Pop had in the homework assignments, he used to have us write about stuff. Now this was huge too. I was writing about the people I used to be with on the street, and Pop would send me my papers back and say, put a name to this. Who would not like you're telling, but you got to put a name to it and call it out and who it was. And you know what I realized later? I think, man, because I've been to treatment several times, and I never did that. What he did for me is made me face who I was, face the people who you was with, because I could just say, I was just with some people. You know what I mean? And it would have continued, I think.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Because I didn't put a name to it. I didn't call this out like it was. I didn't tell on this. I didn't tell on myself, and what you were doing, and really look at what I was doing, man. I went to 14 treatments. It stopped. I ain't been in treatment. I've been drug free since 2009. Nothing. I have no desire to. But in order for me to stay like this, I must stay in circles and groups like this. I must stay around this atmosphere. I have to, like I just said a minute ago, this is a lifestyle now. So when I knew I was really free when I got out, when I continued, so I did the programming in. This was the only... if I had some stuff going on after once, and they'd meet and have some stuff and people would meet, which is good. It was good. So doing that and then coming here kind of keeps me connected. You know what I mean? When I sit here and listen to the other guys' stories, and 99% of the time I was there, I was you.
Right.
That's when I knew I was free. When I could really look at it, relate, and go, that was me.
Yeah.
And it's not me no more. And I'm not scared to say it was me. Yeah, I did that. I did that.
Yeah.
Even Grimer, I did this. Did you ever do that? You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And I don't do that no more. And I can say I don't do that no more.
Because it's the past.
Yeah.
It was done already.
Yeah.
And so, wow, man.
Another situation when I was at work. A few of the people I've been working for a few years. I've been there. And some of them know my background, depending on who I'm talking to. And somebody tried to say, where'd you learn that at, in the penitentiary? Any other time, I might have slapped it.
Yeah.
You right in front of the boss and everybody.
All right.
But I just looked at him and laughed. And just laughed. I was like, that was funny. But no, I kind of know this stuff, and then just walk off. You know what I mean? Wow. That was freedom. That's freedom.
Yeah.
That's freedom. That first thought is like, I guess I don't think.
Yep.
And just go to jail or whatever. And worry about the consequences later. No. Absolutely. A lot of stuff that used to blow me off is funny now. That's freedom.
Wow.
That's freedom. So yeah.
Divine freedom.
Yes. It's like you have no idea.
Wow. And so, what would you say? And another. This is another deep question. Well, first of all, I want to say and get this out of the way. I'm a firm believer in giving people their roses while they're here to smell them. And me personally, from me to you, I want to say congratulations, because I've sat and I've watched your leadership develop on so many levels.
Really?
So many levels, man. There's a few good men in here. I admire all the guys, but there's a few good men that I admire in this group and that I look up to as a role model, and you one of them.
What? That's huge to me, coming from you.
Absolutely.
That's huge. Yeah, I take that as a high compliment.
Absolutely, man.
I really appreciate that. And likewise. I see you and it's a special thing.
And the thing is, we don't look like what we've been through on any level. But I personally know that it's not easy. It's not easy. But when we have groups like this that are not even so much a group, but more like a family, it helps ease that transition, man. And so now I can think of a few, but can you think of a few accomplishments or milestones that are significant to you that kind of stick out to you, that you've been able to achieve since you've been out?
Oh, wow. When I was in prison, Shane used to have us write goals. I wrote, in 3 years or 3 or 5 years after I got out, I wanted to be debt free. That didn't work like that. It didn't work out right. But I ended up, with the credit straight, tax. I don't owe nobody nothing.
Right.
You know what I mean? So that was one milestone. Another milestone was I bought my first property.
Congratulations, man.
Yeah. In my name, on my credit, with my money.
Wow.
You know what I mean? Me and my current wife. Can't forget her. She was right there with me.
Absolutely.
We did it together because I couldn't have did it by myself.
Wow.
But I signed. She said, I can't sign. You sign. I'll sign. You know what I'm talking about?
Right, yeah.
One thing I realized is, man, when you get in a relationship, you gotta ask your chick how her credit score is. I'm trying to tell you. But anyway.
Right.
But yeah, I was able to purchase my first property, looking to purchase another one, so I'm saving for that. One of the biggest milestones I have is consistent employment. I got out in 2011. When I got my first job, I got out in June 2000. I can tell you this. In July, it took me a month to get a job, my first job, and I was starting to worry because I always got jobs. I used to walk in places and just get the job. Now I gotta talk about a felony now. Well, I was freaked out. But I got past that because I learned and I talked about it and I listened to people and I learned how to speak and word that into the interview. I had to learn.
Yeah.
So the consistent employment. I've had I had 3 jobs, all better than the next. Leaving on correct terms, so I believe I can call anybody since I've been out of prison. Anybody who I work for, they'll hire me right back. I know they will.
Wow.
So consistent employment since 2011. It's 2020 now.
Wow. That's powerful, man.
Yeah.
That's powerful.
And then buying the property, one of my downfalls in that was a divorce, it was now that I look at that, I don't think I would be where I am if I would have stayed in a relationship, not talking bad about the woman. Do you understand what I'm talking about here? I'm not, because she's a beautiful woman. She's cool. Yeah. I'd be cool with her right now if I could, if she wanted to. I mean, we got kids together.
Absolutely.
You know, I ain't got no hate for you or nothing. But I wouldn't be where I am today if I would have been there. And I noticed a piece of, it was almost like when the divorce went off, I shot. Then I shot. I was just like this in that first marriage. I don't know if that was me. I'm not pointing fingers. Yeah. You know, a lot of it was me, I guess, because she was cool and everything. But everything started happening really fast in a 2-year period.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
I mean, like, bam, bam, bam. Now it's working. I'm going to do it like this and I'm going to do it like that. And I want to pay I want to get my credit right. I'm paying off taxes paid. You know what? Stuff that won't happen now. You know, I need to take care of it. I had to go back and take care of some stuff to get to where I am. So, but yeah, up to consistent employment, purchasing my first property, which is huge. I'm really into the real estate type thing. I would really like to go and purchase a 2017 Cadillac truck. Okay. But I'm not gonna, because I don't need it. And if I got it, it'd be just because I wanted it. You know what I mean? And they still want like $52,000 for them, for what I would want. And then, or 60,000, you know, they want a lot of money. And I feel, well, if I got money for that, I got money for another property.
A house, absolutely.
So I'm not gonna do it. Okay. You know, that's a milestone. Yeah. Do I want to do that? No. Yeah. Do I want to do that? You know what I mean? Yeah, that's a milestone. Peaceful, being peaceful. Yeah, I find I got that peacefulness through this Corona stuff. I didn't miss a beat.
Absolutely.
Mortgage paid, bills are paid. Praise God on all of this. Let me give him his due. I didn't miss a beat. People lost their jobs, man. Millions of people. People got sick. People died. Yeah. That stuff is not over at my house. You know what I mean? My work. I started sooner. I'm starting Monday, and I'm starting sooner than I did last year. You get what I'm saying? So I haven't missed a beat. Wow. And I'm looking over here, and I'm like, you know, I'm feeling empathy for these people, man. You know, people had businesses and everything. You know what I mean? That was their livelihood. That's what they did. My wife, to this very day, tells me, man, having your business is what it is what's happening. And I'm going, wow, some of these people
are not doing good.
Are going to have to start over. And are they going to have the money to start over? Because you got to have something on the table. Yeah. So that's a milestone. The peace and just not worrying. You know what I mean? Like, another milestone. Let me give you one more milestone. My mother lives with me and my wife. Now, let me tell you why that's a milestone. There was a time my mom couldn't even see or nothing what I was doing. When I was out there on the streets doing what I was doing for all the years, I wasn't going over to her or up around. You know what I'm talking about? She would see me very rarely. Now she lives with me. That's huge. Wow. Human, we got a spot for you. This is yours. Wow. I was never in no shape to do nothing. I didn't have the faculty to do such a thing. You know what I mean? That's a milestone, man. Wow. That's a milestone. And I'm okay with it.
Absolutely. It's something to be proud of, man.
You want to talk about, that's real life stuff right there.
Absolutely. Wow, man. Well, congratulations, man. And so if you could say anything to Dr. Verna or Brother Shane Price right now, what would it be?
Man, I would say, you know, I look at them, man, I was like, this is like the power couple, man. But, you know, I would thank Dr. Verna, man, because whenever she speaks, she has my full attention. Her speaking is so powerful, and I can just feel the spirit in her. You know what I mean? So I would just thank her for being her. And Brother Shane, man, I've seen him, you know, I'm a believer. You know what I mean? and I would just thank them, man, because if Brother Shane didn't have this, I would have to create it myself, or because there'd be nowhere I could go to come in like on Tuesday night, at 5:30 and sit down and eat some chicken and can't wait to hear what's going on, the struggle and the joy.
Wow.
I wouldn't know if he didn't do this. I really wouldn't know. I would have to do something. Or you would, or somebody has in the group. Well, we're going to continue over here, because I know what this is about. So I just want to thank them for their vision and that gift God gave them, because it's just trickling down to me.
Wow.
So this is where I get my ideas from. You know what I mean? I'm not inventing nothing. I'm just regurgitating what I learned.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I would thank them, man. They've invited me to their home, man. They invited me to their functions, so I can put a suit on and I can bring my wife, and we look forward to them outings. Oh, hey, Shane and them speaking, they got this little dinner thing. Oh yeah, we're going.
Absolutely.
And it's just beautiful to be, it's like I would have never done nothing like that, man. Never.
Not at all.
I wasn't into none of that. They doing drugs, they got free drinking and free drinks, or you know what I'm saying? That would have been the criteria. That and only that. To forget what's really going on in them. The impact they're doing to the community and how to help people in their lives, man, being impactful in people's lives. That's huge. That stuff never mattered to me before. But now it's like, if that's not going on,
all that
I'm
matters.
not coming.
Yeah.
Is it popping over there? Are they talking what they're talking about? If Shane, Dr. Brenna's speaking, I'm coming.
Wow.
And I want my wife to come too. I'd be like, check this out. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Wow.
So I just want to thank them, man, for having this. You know what I mean? And I know, man, that I can come to them for anything. I'm glad I never had to, but I know, you know what I mean? But, he would have been there. Yeah. He did steer me in the right direction like he's done before. They've helped me, man, monumental ways to push my life forward. Just being able to speak to him and get some knowledge from him and follow up on it. You know what I mean? He said, man, do this. And I go, okay. Next thing you know, I'm coming back, man, guess what? So that's huge for me. So I just appreciate them.
Wow.
I do.